I was 17 in my final year of high school. High school was boring. Same hallways, same faces, same lunch food. My life was pretty simple. Wake up, go to school, try to stay awake in class, go home, repeat. My only escape was my best friend, Mia. We would sit at the back of the class and make jokes about everything. Life was easy. Then one day, my mom got a new job. She started working evenings at a local diner, the kind with red seats and a jukebox that doesn't really work. I had to go pick her up one night because her car broke down. So I walked into this diner, and that is when I saw him. He was sitting at the counter, drinking a milkshake. He looked a little older than me. He had messy brown hair, and he was wearing a band t-shirt for a group I had never heard of. He was laughing at something on his phone. He wasn't trying to look cool, he just was. And I couldn't look away. For a second, he looked up and our eyes met. He smiled. Just a small, friendly smile. My heart did this weird thing, like it skipped a beat. I smiled back, probably looking like a complete idiot, and then I ran to find my mom. I didn't think I would see him again. The next day at school, I was in history class, half asleep. Mrs. Davis was handing back our test papers. She put my paper on my desk. I got AB-. Not great. Then she walked back to the front of the class and said, "Oh, before we start, I want to thank my son, Ethan. He helped me organize all the study guides for your exam this weekend. He is home from college for a few weeks." My head shot up.
Son?
College? I looked at Mrs. Davis. I looked at the photo on her desk, the one I had seen 100 times but never really looked at. It was a photo of her and a guy with messy brown hair. The guy from the diner. My teacher's son. I felt my face get hot. Mia looked at me. "You okay, Laura? You look like you just saw a ghost." I whispered, "That's him. The guy from the diner." Mia's eyes went wide. "No way," she whisper-shouted. "Your teacher's son? Oh, this is juicy." For the rest of the class, I couldn't focus. I kept staring at Mrs. Davis. She was talking about history, but all I could think about was her son's smile. It felt so wrong, but it also felt so exciting. A few days later, I was at the supermarket after school, buying snacks. I turned down the chip aisle, and there he was.
Ethan.
In person, standing right in front of the potato chips. He was wearing a hoodie and looked even better than I remembered. I froze. He looked up and recognized me. "Hey," he said. "You were at the diner, right?" I couldn't believe he remembered. Yeah," I mumbled. "I was picking up my mom." He smiled again. That same smile.
Cool. I met him.
He put out his hand. I shook it. His hand was warm.
I'm Lara.
"Nice to meet you, Laura." He grabbed a bag of chips. "These are my mom's favorite. She's a teacher, you know.
History.
She drives everyone crazy with her history facts." I laughed. A little too loud. "Yeah, actually, I know. She's my teacher."
He stopped.
He looked at me. "Wait, really? You're one of her students?" "No way. That's funny." He didn't look weirded out. He looked interested. We stood there in the chip aisle for like 20 minutes just talking. About music, about movies, about how boring our towns were. It was easy. It was fun. Before he left, he said, "Hey, do you want to hang out sometime? Just to talk more. I don't know many people here anymore." My brain screamed, "Asterisk, he is your teacher's son. This is a bad idea." Asterisk, but my mouth said, "Sure. That sounds nice." And just like that, the secret began. We started texting. At first, it was just jokes. Funny memes. Then the text got longer. We would text late at night, after I finished my homework. He would tell me about college, about his friends, about his dreams to be a musician. I would tell him about my annoying teachers, except his mom, of course, and my crazy family. It was like I had a secret world. During the day, I was just Laura the student. I would sit in Mrs. Davis's class and take notes. I would watch her write on the board, and I would think, I know your son. I talk to your son every night. It felt like a superpower. It also felt like I was lying to her every single day. Then we decided to meet up for real. Not at a supermarket, but on a real date. He picked me up in his old car, and we drove to a town an hour away where no one knew us. We went to a cheap pizza place. We talked and laughed for hours. He told me about his ex-girlfriend, who broke his heart. I told him about my fear of the future, about not knowing what I wanted to do after school. He listened. He really listened. He didn't just wait for his turn to talk. He looked at me like I was the only person in the world. On the drive home, it started to rain. He pulled the car over to the side of a quiet road. The rain was hitting the roof, loud and steady. He looked at me. "Laura, I really like you," he said. "I know this is weird. I know my mom is your teacher, but I don't care. I like you." I didn't say anything. I just leaned over and kissed him. It was perfect. It was the kind of kiss you see in movies. Soft and warm and full of promise. When we pulled apart, I was smiling so big my face hurt. "I like you too, Ethan," I whispered. For the next few weeks, we were inseparable. In secret, we would go on drives. We would go to the lake. We would find empty parking lots and just sit and talk. I was so happy. Happier than I had ever been. But the secret started to feel heavy. At school, Mrs. Davis was being extra nice to me. I got a B+ on my last essay, and she wrote, "Great improvement, Laura. Keep it up," on the top of my paper. I looked at her handwriting and felt a knot in my stomach. If she knew what I was doing with her son, she wouldn't be writing nice notes on my paper. She would be calling my mom. She would be so hurt. One day, Mia pulled me aside. "Laura, you have to tell someone," she said. "You can't keep this a secret forever. What if Mrs. Davis finds out on her own? It will be so much worse." I knew she was right, but I was scared. I was scared of losing Ethan. I was scared of the drama. I was scared of my mom finding out. "I'll tell him we need to slow down," I said to Mia. "We need to figure out what to do." But I didn't. I was too in love, too caught up in the excitement of it all. Every time I tried to bring it up with Ethan, he would kiss me or hold my hand, and the words would just disappear. Then things started to get complicated. Ethan started talking about me meeting his mom. Not as his girlfriend, but as a friend. "Just come over for dinner," he said one night. "She will be happy I made a friend. She is always worried I am lonely." I stared at him. "Ethan, I can't have dinner with your mom. She is my teacher. It's too weird."
What if she sees something?
"What if I accidentally call you babe at the dinner table?" He laughed. "You worry too much. It will be fine."
But I didn't go.
I made excuses. I was busy. I had homework. I was sick. Ethan started to get frustrated. "Laura, what are we doing?" he asked me one evening. We were sitting in his car, in our usual spot by the lake. The sun was setting, painting the sky orange and pink. It should have been romantic, but his voice was tense. "I feel like I'm your secret. I don't want to be a secret anymore. I want to be able to hold your hand in public. I want to tell my mom about the girl I love." My heart stopped. Love? He loved me? But the happiness was mixed with panic. "I know," I said quietly. "I know. But your mom, it's just so hard. What if she hates me? What if she thinks I'm some bad student who distracted her son?" He took my hand. "My mom is a good person. She will understand. We haven't done anything wrong, Laura. We just fell for each other." He was so sure, so confident. I wished I could be like that. I promised him I would think about it. I promised him we would figure it out. But I was too scared to make a decision. So I did nothing. I just hoped the problem would go away on its own. It didn't. Of course it didn't. One afternoon, I was at Ethan's house. His mom was at a teacher's conference, so we thought it was safe. We were just watching a movie in the living room, eating popcorn. It felt so normal, so nice. We were laughing at something silly, and I leaned my head on his shoulder. It was a moment of pure peace. Then I heard the key in the lock. My body went cold. I jumped off the couch like I had been shocked. Ethan's face went pale. The door opened, and Mrs. Davis walked in. She was carrying groceries. She looked up, saw me, and froze. For a second, no one moved. "Laura," she said. Her voice was confused, not angry. "Not yet. What are you doing here?" My brain was empty. I couldn't think of a single lie. Ethan stood up. "Mom, let me explain." He tried. He told her we met by accident. He told her we liked each other. He told her we were sorry for keeping it a secret. He told her it wasn't my fault, it was his idea. He was so brave. I just stood there, shaking, my eyes on the floor. Mrs. Davis put the groceries down, very slowly. She took off her coat. Then she looked at me, really looked at me. And the look in her eyes, it wasn't just anger. It was disappointment. Deep, deep disappointment. It was worse than anger. It cut right through me. "Laura," she said, her voice quiet and shaky. "You are my student. You sit in my classroom every day. I trusted you. I trusted both of you." A single tear rolled down her cheek. I wanted to disappear. I wanted the floor to open up and swallow me whole. "I'm so sorry, Mrs. Davis," I whispered. My voice was broken. "I'm so sorry." She didn't say anything. She just looked at me for a long, painful moment. Then she turned to Ethan. "We'll talk about this later." She looked back at me. "I think you should go home now, Laura." I grabbed my bag and ran out of that house. I didn't stop running until I got to the bus stop. My heart was pounding. My face was wet with tears. It was over. Our beautiful secret was over. And I had broken my teacher's heart. The next day at school was a nightmare. I was so scared to go to history class. I almost pretended to be sick, but I knew I had to face it. I walked into the classroom, my legs like jelly. Mrs. Davis was at her desk, grading papers. She looked up when I walked in. Her face was tired. She didn't look angry anymore. She just looked sad.
And that was worse.
I sat down in my seat. Mia squeezed my hand under the desk.
Class started.
Mrs. Davis taught the lesson. Her voice was flat.
She didn't look at me.
Not once. For the whole hour, she acted like I wasn't even there. It was the longest hour of my life. After class, everyone left. I stayed in my seat. I waited until the room was empty. Then I walked up to her desk. "Mrs. Davis?" She looked up.
I want to say again how sorry I am.
"I never meant to hurt you." She put her pen down. She took off her glasses and rubbed her eyes. She looked so tired. "Laura," she said, "I'm not angry. I'm just confused and hurt. Ethan is my only son, and you are one of my students. I feel like I don't know either of you anymore." I started crying again. "I know. It was wrong. We should have told you. I was just so scared." She nodded slowly. "Love makes us do crazy things, Laura. It makes us scared. It makes us brave. It makes us stupid sometimes." She gave me a small, sad smile. "I'm not going to punish you. I'm not going to tell the school. That would ruin your final year.
But I need you to understand something.
You and Ethan, you need to stop.
For now.
He needs to go back to college. You need to focus on your studies. This is too messy. It's too complicated." I knew she was right. I nodded. "I understand." She reached out and touched my hand. "You're a good kid, Laura. You just made a bad choice. Learn from it, okay?" I nodded again, unable to speak. I texted Ethan that night. I told him what his mom said. He was quiet for a long time. Then he texted back, "She's right.
I'm sorry, Lara.
I love you, but maybe we need to let this go for now. It's not fair to her." My heart broke into a million pieces. I wanted to fight. I wanted to say we could make it work. But I knew he was right. The secret had poisoned everything. He went back to college a few days later. We didn't say a real goodbye, just a few sad texts. It felt like someone had turned off the sun. The weeks after Ethan left were the hardest of my life. School felt pointless. Food had no taste. Music made me sad. Everything reminded me of him. The diner, the lake, the supermarket chip aisle. I couldn't even eat potato chips without feeling like crying. I focused on my schoolwork just to survive. I studied like crazy. I think I was trying to prove something to Mrs. Davis, or maybe to myself, that I wasn't just some silly girl who made trouble, that I was more than my worst mistake. Mrs. Davis was professional. She treated me like a normal student. She didn't ignore me, but she didn't single me out. It was like the whole thing had never happened. But sometimes I would catch her looking at me, and there would be this flicker of something in her eyes. Sadness, maybe. Or worry. It was a silent reminder of the pain I had caused. Mia was my rock. She would drag me out of the house on weekends. She would make me watch funny movies. She would listen to me cry for hours about Ethan. "You will get through this, Laura," she would say. "Hearts heal. Even broken ones." One night, about 2 months later, my phone buzzed. It was a text from a number I didn't have saved, but I knew it immediately. Ethan. It said, "Hey, Laura. I know I shouldn't text you. I just wanted to say I hope you are okay. I think about you all the time. I'm sorry for how things ended. Maybe one day, when things are different, we can try again. Take care of yourself." I read the text 10 times. My heart raced. A tiny flame of hope flickered inside me. I wanted to text back, "I miss you. I love you. I'll wait for you." But I didn't. I put the phone down. I thought about Mrs. Davis's tired face. I thought about the promise I made to myself to be better. I thought about the fact that I was about to graduate and start my own life. I didn't reply. It was the hardest thing I have ever done. Not replying to that text. Letting him go. Choosing peace over drama. Choosing my future over a complicated past. I graduated. It was a sunny day, full of smiles and photos. Mrs. Davis was there in her nice dress, clapping for all her students. When I walked across the stage to get my diploma, I looked at her. She was clapping, and she was smiling. A real smile. I smiled back. In that moment, I felt like maybe she had forgiven me. And more importantly, I felt like I had forgiven myself. I went to college in a different city. A fresh start. New people. New classes. I thought about Ethan less and less. The sharp pain in my heart became a soft ache. Then the ache became just a memory. I met new people. I even dated a little. Nothing serious. No one made me feel the way Ethan did. But that was okay. I was young. I had time. Years passed. I graduated college.
I got a job.
I moved to a new apartment. Life moved forward like it always does. One day, I was back in my hometown for a visit. I was getting coffee at a little cafe downtown. I ordered my drink and turned around to leave. And there he was. Ethan. He was older. He had a little beard now. He was wearing a nice shirt, not a band t-shirt. He was even more handsome than I remembered. He saw me. His eyes widened. "Laura?" I smiled. For a moment, we just stared at each other. Then he smiled. That same smile. "Wow," he said. "You look amazing. Can I buy you a coffee?" I laughed. I actually just bought one, but sure. I'd like that. We sat down at a small table by the window. It was awkward at first. We didn't know what to say. Then we started talking. It was like no time had passed at all. We talked about our jobs, our lives, our families. He told me his mom had retired from teaching. She was happy, traveling the world with his dad. Finally, he brought it up. "Laura, I have to ask. Why didn't you ever reply to that text I sent you years ago? The one after I went back to college?" I looked down at my coffee. I took a deep breath. Because I needed to grow up, Ethan. I needed to become my own person, not just the girl who was secretly dating her teacher's son. And I think you needed that too. He was quiet for a moment. Then he nodded. You're right. I was so angry at first, but then I understood. My mom actually helped me see it. She said you were one of the strongest kids she ever taught, because you chose to do the right thing, even when it hurt. I felt tears prick my eyes. She said that. He nodded.
Yeah.
She did. We talked for hours. It was like catching up with an old friend. There was no pressure, no drama, just two people who once loved each other, sharing stories. As the cafe started to get dark, Ethan looked at me. Lara, I know we are different people now. We are not those scared teenagers anymore. But I have to ask, would you like to have dinner with me? Tonight? As two adults.
No secrets. No hiding.
My heart did that familiar skip, but it felt different this time. It felt right. Not like a dangerous secret, but like a new beginning. A second chance. I smiled. I would love that, Ethan. We left the cafe together. The streetlights were just turning on. The air was cool and clean. He reached out and took my hand. It felt warm. It felt familiar. It felt like coming home. As we walked down the street, I thought about the journey. The crazy, painful, beautiful journey. I thought about Mrs. Davis and her tired, sad eyes. I hoped she would be happy for us now. I hoped she would see that we had both grown up. We walked to a little Italian restaurant. He held the door open for me. I walked inside, and for the first time in years, I felt completely at peace. The secret was gone. The guilt was gone. All that was left was hope, and a man who I had never really stopped loving. Dinner was wonderful. We laughed. We talked about everything and nothing. We made plans to see each other again before I went back to the city. It felt so easy, so natural. Later that night, he drove me back to my mom's house. He parked the car outside. The same old car, but it looked different now. Or maybe I was different. I'm really glad I ran into you today, Lara, he said. I am too, Ethan. He leaned over and kissed me, soft and warm, just like the first time years ago by the lake. But this time, there was no fear.
No guilt.
Just two people, finally free. I got out of the car and watched him drive away. I stood there for a long time, looking up at the stars. I thought about my teacher. I thought about her son. I thought about the girl I used to be. I smiled. Sometimes, love finds you at the wrong time. Sometimes, it gets all tangled up with secrets and fear. But sometimes, if you are brave enough to wait, if you are brave enough to grow up, love finds you again. At the right time, in the right way. And that, my friends, is the story of how I dated my teacher's son. It was a story of heartbreak, of loss, of healing. But in the end, it became a story of second chances. A few months later, I got an invitation in the mail. It was a fancy white card with gold writing. It was an invitation to Ethan's mom's retirement party. I almost laughed out loud.
Me?
At Mrs. Davis's party? Years ago, that would have been my worst nightmare. Now, it felt like an honor. I went. I bought her a nice bouquet of flowers. When I walked into the party, she was standing by the food table, laughing with some other teachers. She looked so happy, so relaxed. When she saw me, her face lit up. Lara, she said, and she came over and gave me a big hug. A real hug. I'm so glad you came. Ethan told me you two reconnected. I'm so happy for you both. I felt tears in my eyes. Thank you, Mrs. Davis, for everything, for being so understanding all those years ago. I don't think I ever really thanked you. She held my hands and looked into my eyes. Lara, you were a good student, and you grew into a wonderful woman. That's all any teacher could ever ask for. At that moment, Ethan came up behind me and put his arm around my shoulder. I looked at him, then at his mom. And I felt complete. Life is funny. It takes you on these crazy paths, full of twists and turns. You make mistakes. You break things. But if you are lucky, and if you are patient, you get a chance to put the pieces back together into something even more beautiful than before. And that is the end of my story. For now, at least.